Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MME. I am Shubhadeep, a third-year MBBS student from Jagannath Gupta Institute of Medical Sciences and Hospital. Today, I am here to discuss on a pathological topic, inflammatory bowel disease, that is IBD. Let's start the topic. Inflammatory bowel disease is an autoimmune condition. Autoimmune condition. It is more prevalent in female than in male. Like the other autoimmune conditions, it is more prevalent in the age group of 20 to 40 years of age. Now, what is IBD? The definition. According to Robbins, IBD is a chronic condition resulting from an inappropriate mucosal immune activation. This inappropriate mucosal immune activation is the basic etiology behind IBD. So what required for a normal mucosal immune system activation? For a normal mucosal immune system activation, we need some healthy bacteria, that is a commensal bacteria. This healthy bacteria will cause mild inflammation. This mild inflammation will activate the mucosal immune system, and that will help to protect from IBD. But because of excessive hygiene, like refrigeration, these healthy bacteria dies. So there is no immune activation, and that leads to IBD. So hygiene hypothesis is responsible for IBD. How? Increase in the hygiene leads to normal gut bacteria dies. As a result, there will be no development of mucosal immunity that leads to IBD. Now, the types of IBD. IBD is two types: Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Before going into the difference, there is a note for you. All IBD has some earliest GIT manifestation, which is in the form of aphthous ulcer. This came as an MCQ in All India exam. Now, let's discuss on Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis in the form of difference. Crohn's disease is associated with CD4 Th1 cell, whereas ulcerative colitis is associated with CD4 Th2 cell. CD4 Th1 cell and CD4 Th2 cell. From our immunity knowledge, we know that CD4 Th1 cell is associated with granuloma formation, whereas CD4 Th2 cell is associated with eosinophil or mast cell infiltration. So, as a result, in Crohn's disease, there will be granuloma formation, whereas in ulcerative colitis, there will be infiltration of mast cell or eosinophil. Second difference is Crohn's disease is associated with HLA-DR1 gene, whereas ulcerative colitis is associated with HLA-DR2 gene. Now, third is site. The most common site for Crohn's disease is terminal ileum. Most common site for Crohn's disease is terminal ileum. Whereas most common site for ulcerative colitis is rectum or rectosigmoid colon. Here is a note for you. Rectum in Crohn's disease will be spared. It means there will be no ulcer in the rectum. This came as a MCQ in All India exam. Now, the gross structure. So, this is a cut section of intestine. We have divided it, the left one for Crohn's disease and the right one for the ulcerative colitis. The main characteristic features of Crohn's disease is there is a skip lesion. What is skip lesion? See, a part of the intestine is mucosa is affected with ulcer, and the another part is normal, means healthy. So there is a clear demarcation between healthy region and the ulcer region. This is known as skip lesion. Once there is a ulcer, again there is a normal, again there is a ulcer. But in case of ulcerative colitis, the mucosal damage is continuous, means throughout. There is no skipping. So here there is no skip lesion. It is no skip lesion. Okay. Now the second point. As there is a mucosal damage, there should be mucosal regeneration. The mucosal regeneration takes place in the form of pseudopolyps. In the form of pseudopolyps. See, these are the pseudopolyps. In both the cases, both Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, there is mucosal damage. So in both the cases, there will be pseudopolyps. In both the cases, there will be pseudopolyps. But there is a difference. In Crohn's disease, the pseudopolyps will have a patchy distribution. A patchy distribution. Crohn's disease has skip lesion. One part there is ulcer and the other part it is normal. So the region where there is ulcer, there will be pseudopolyps. In the normal position, there will be no pseudopolyps. So the pseudopolyps will be in the patchy distribution. Whereas ulcer in ulcerative colitis is continuous, means there is continuous mucosal damage. So the pseudopolyp will be diffuse. So the pseudopolyps will be in diffuse distribution. This diffuse pseudopolyps is found in ulcerative colitis. It came as a question in PGI Chandigarh. Now, next point. Okay, before going to the next point, there is one thing to tell. The pseudopolyps is never a pre-malignant condition. Is never a pre-malignant condition. Never. Is never a pre-malignant condition. This also came as a question in PGI Chandigarh. Now the third point. Crohn's disease. In Crohn's disease, if we see the intestine in a gross, we will find some fat around the serosa. These are known as creeping fats. These are known as creeping fats. And in case of ulcerative colitis, there will be toxic megacolon. Now the fourth point. Is the most important characteristics features. In Crohn's disease, we will find cobblestone appearance, whereas in ulcerative colitis, we will find late pipe appearance. Let's understand what is cobblestone appearance and what is late pipe appearance. This is a cross section of intestine. See, here this red portion, these red areas are edematous mucosal elevation. In between this, there is a linear and deeper ulceration. So once there is a deeper ulceration, and in just side of that there is elevation, edematous elevation, and we can see that as a cobblestone appearance. Okay, now the late pipe. Normal colon has hostration, but in ulcerative colitis there is inflammation. This inflammation leads to fibrosis, and this fibrosis leads to the flattening of colon, means there will be no hostration. As there is no hostration, the late pipe will be smooth, and it looks like this structure. This looks like a late pipe. It is also known as featureless colon. Okay. Now the fifth point. This is the normal intestine. Here the mucosa are normal list. Here not lesion. This is a normal mucosa or normal lumen, but the lumen gradually narrows down. Why the mucosa gradually narrows down? Because at the site of it there is inflammation. This inflammation leads to fibrosis. This fibrosis leads to calcification. Due to inflammation, fibrosis and calcification, the lumen gradually becomes narrowed, and this structure, this narrowing of lumen, it's seen in the radiological examination as string sign of Cantor. This is a very important sign. This is a string sign of Cantor. Now let's see some picture. The first picture. Look at this picture. Look at this region and this region. These two regions has a normal mucosa. normal mucosa. And in between these two normal mucosa, there is a ulcer. Can you see? There is a ulcer. So there is a ulcer between two normal mucosa. So this is an example of skip lesion. Understood? So this is an example of skip lesion. Skip lesion is found in Crohn's disease, right? Now next, see, look at these areas, these areas, these are the edematous area, edematous elevation. In between these edematous elevations, see, this is a deeper and linear lesions. So this is a, is a cobblestone appearance. This is a cobblestone appearance. Now the third, look at this region. Here, see, the lumen gradually narrows down. So this is a sign of string sign of Cantor. This is string sign of Cantor. Okay. Now the fourth picture, see, here the ulcer is throughout the intestine. So a continuous lesion. Continuous lesion is found in ulcerative colitis. Okay, so this is a case of ulcerative colitis. Now the fifth one, look at this. This is the normal intestine. See, there is a normal intestine. There are hostration. These are hostration. But see in this portion, is there any hostration? No. This part of the intestine has lost hostration because of inflammation, because of fibrosis, because of that there is a flattening of the mucosa. So this looks like a lead pipe. So it is a lead pipe appearance. This is a lead pipe appearance. This is a lead pipe appearance. Okay. Now start with microscopic examination. This is the card section. Again a card section. So we know the layers of intestine: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis propria, and serosa. In Crohn's disease, the ulcer will take place in all the layers: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis propria, and serosa. So as all the layers are involved, so the ulcer is known as transmural ulceration. Known as transmural ulcer. Why transmural? All the layers are involved. But in case of Crohn's disease, all the layers are involved here. Okay. But in case of Crohn's disease, only mucus and the submucous layer will be involved. Only mucus and submucous layer will be involved. Okay. Now, second point. In ulcerative colitis, the crypts will be branched and distorted. The crypts will be branched. These are very important features in ulcerative colitis, that the crypts will be branched and distorted crypts. Okay. Now the second point, as you know that in Crohn's disease there is involvement of CD4-Th1 cell, so there will be a granuloma formation, and in ulcerative colitis, as there is an involvement of CD4-Th2 cells, so there will be eosinophil and mast cell infiltration. Okay. Let's see some picture of microscopic structure. First picture. See. This is the first picture. What can you see? The crypts. First look at the crypts. The crypts are normal. Okay. And look at this region. What is this? Can you identify this? See, there are some giant cells. Giant cells. These are some giant cells. So this is a granuloma. So this is a granuloma. Granuloma. So this is a granuloma. So this is a granuloma. Okay, and granulomas are found in Crohn's disease. Why? Because of involvement of CD4-Th1 cell. So this microscopic structure is a structure of Crohn's disease. Okay, now the next structure. First look at the crypts. See, crypts are branched, and here the crypts are distorted, branched as well as distorted. So crypts are branched and distorted. What would be the case? Crypts are branched and distorted. Distorted. So it is a case of ulcerative colitis. Understood? Now the risk factors. The risk factors for any IBD is transformation into malignancy. The ulcerative colitis has more chance of transforming into malignancy than the Crohn's disease. And the most important cause of death in case of any IBD is malignancy. The malignancy is more than peritonitis. Death due to malignancy is more than peritonitis. Now discuss the clinical features. The clinical features is malabsorption, and the most important clinical features is intermittent bloody mucoid diarrhea. Intermittent bloody mucoid diarrhea. And the last part is complications. The complications of IBD is increased perforation, increased risk of peritonitis, increased risk of fistula, and of course the fourth will be increased risk of transforming into malignancy. These all complications are mostly seen in Crohn's disease. Okay, so here I end discussing about IBD. So if you have any question, please comment down below. I'll try to answer all the questions. Thank you.